sick and tired of these correctional officers treating us the way that they treating us, man. We need to do something about it. We need to take a stand. This is what we're going to do. We're going to give them one more opportunity to make some changes around here. If not, we're burning this bitch down. The inmates are setting fire to the yard. I repeat, the inmates are setting fire to the yard. What you mean I'm going to a county jail, man? I'm coming, man, send me to the joint. Send me back to the pen, man. I ain't going to no county jail. Check this out. We from the yard. We from the pen, from the joint, man. And they got us in this county jail, so we here to take over. Anybody got something that we want, we taking it. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. You know, recently I had a viewer ask me if I've ever been a part of a prison riot. I can't say that I've been a part of a prison riot. In all the years that I've done in prison, I've seen some things, you know, get close to popping off or what have you, but I've never been a part of an actual prison riot. However, I know a few people that was at the Northpoint Training Center, 2009. Now, if you're from Kentucky, you've been in the prison system or you're familiar with the prison system, then you'll know perhaps about the riot that took place at the Northpoint Training Center in 2009. Now, even though I wasn't there, I've heard many stories about it. So let me attempt, if you will, to paint a picture for you. Back in 2009, you know, there had been some problems going on. And it actually occurred before 2009, truth be told. Riots don't typically just jump off. You know, generally it's something that, you know, is over time, it's been leading up to it or what have you, and then it just hits the fan, then it happens. Northpoint Training Center is a medium facility. Now, what medium means, that's just the custody level. So you got guys at Northpoint that might be doing 5 years, and you got guys that's doing life sentence, 40, 50 years, and they got to do 85%. In Kentucky, they don't really have many maximum security prisons. But at one point, Northpoint was the place, it was gladiator school. So it's not as though it's soft. It's not as though it's an easy place to be, to say the least. You know, people used to take your locker, like literally just pick your whole locker up and walk out of your area, because you got like little cubicle areas or whatever. So they might go in and just grab your whole locker. Or you coming back from the commissary and you got to walk through the infamous tunnel. When you walk through that tunnel, it's blind spots. If you don't know nobody or they feel like you're soft or whatever, man, they take your whole bag, man. And might stomp you out after they take your bag or during the time that they take your bag. So Northpoint, it definitely wasn't a joke back in the day. So what I'm hearing is that the inmates, amongst a lot of other things that was going on the yard, the medical treatment, how the officers was treating the inmates, these bogus write-ups, taking the rec time. But the food was really, really a problem. The food was a real big issue. Because, see, in prison, you don't have a lot to look forward to. Now, some people are fortunate enough to be able to get on the phone, call their people. They get visits on the weekends. They get money sent in to them or what have you, so they can go to the commissary on a regular basis. But everybody doesn't get that. So most people are required to go to the chow hall. They, you know, they can't just not go to the chow hall. If you get $100 sent in a week, $150 sent in a week, well, guess what? You can literally eat out of your locker. You never have to go to the chow hall. So the individuals that was going to the chow hall, from what I hear, they just grew tired of the treatment and how they were being served, the food. I genuinely believe that because I've been to several other facilities, just never made my way to Northpoint, and the food tends to suck. Now you have certain facilities that they feed you better, like at Green River Correctional Complex. They feed you a lot better, and they feed you plentiful. At least the last time I was there in 2013. But then you have some facilities, they barely give you anything. So for instance, on a day to where you go for dinner and it's white rice, chili with really no meat in it, pause though, cornbread, and I don't know, some applesauce. It may be the meal that day. Well, they're going to load you up on the rice and on the beans. But then on the day, let's just say they have burgers and tater tots. You're going to get a little bitty burger, a little bitty patty, or a chicken patty. And the tater tots, you're going to get 6 or 7 tater tots. You might get a piece of cake and some coleslaw or something like that. Well, they're giving you much smaller amounts of the good food. And oftentimes what happens is the officers, they'll come in, not all officers, but a lot of times what happens, they'll order the food. Typically they use Aramark. Aramark is big as far as the prison systems down here in Kentucky. You got Carewell, you got Aramark. Those are the two main ones, but most people use Aramark. Well, you'll put in your order, whoever's doing the order, and they'll put in the order for the food, but they'll keep the good stuff behind. So let's just say you order chicken patties, or you order pizzas, you know, the little square pizzas that you get, that you got like back in the day in school. You order those. So actually they're rectangular, but you know what I mean. So you order good stuff like at the tacos, the the burgers, the Polish sausages, you know, things like that. What they'll do is they'll keep that food behind, and they have a system which is called fresh faves. Fresh faves means every Monday, I believe last time I was locked up, on a Monday, you can order these foods, but they charge you outrageous prices. Or they might, you might be able to order like a whole pizza. It's going to be probably 18, 19 bucks. You order a chicken sandwich with the lettuce, tomatoes on it, and then you get a bunch of tater tots or whatever. It might be 9 or 10 bucks. So the food that they really supposed to be serving you, they're selling it to you and feeding you the garbage. Every once in a while, like I said, they'll throw out a chicken patty or, not a cube steak, but, something that's people can eat or whatever, that'll come to the chow hall for. Salisbury steak is what I was looking for. But nevertheless, and if you're in a rush, this ain't the video for you, because we're going to ride, man. So if you're riding, just ride with me. If you're trying to go to sleep and you need something to put you to sleep, just, ride with me. That's what we do. Real Kids TV. So the inmates was just growing tired of this. Over time, you just get tired of going to the chow hall eating crap. But yet, everybody's required to have a job. So you got me out here weed eating all day. You got me out here, mowing grass all day long. It's 90 degrees outside. The commissary is astronomical as far as prices. Every little thing you're taking away from the inmates opposed to giving to the inmates. And truth be told, the inmates run the whole compound. Because if they had to bring in people for laundry, if they had to bring in people for maintenance, for landscaping, just anything that you could possibly think of, a prison couldn't operate. So the inmates do it for like 25 bucks a month. And if you have a special job, you might make $100, $110, $120 a month. But most of the time, those jobs are very difficult to get. And a lot of the special jobs, you got a whole lot of backstabbing and bootlicking trustees. Not everybody. Let me make that clear. Everybody that has one of those special project jobs or whatever is not no bootlicking trustee. But I'm just saying you have a lot of that goes on with very, very few jobs. And so, once again, from what I'm told, the inmates just got tired of it. And one day, it hit the fan. It hit the fan and they took over the prison, man. They took over the prison. They got to setting stuff on fire. A couple guards got whooped. You know what I mean? They was chasing guards. All them tough guards that always had something to say, that always thought that they were so tough and had their little handcuffs and they pepper spray or they bear spray that they carry on their hip or whatever. Same guards that was tough. Now y'all running. What you running for? What you running for, Forrest? You was tough. You was tough like when you feel as though you had the upper hand on the inmates. Let me explain something to you. Inmates allow guards, correction officers, to go home to their families. Understand that. Inmates allow guards to go home to their family. See, they just have to come in there. That's why I hate when I hear them say, oh, man, this is though we're locked up just as well. No, it's not. You go in there, you do your little 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever. You got to do a double sometimes, and you pissed about that, so you take it out on the inmates. But you go home to your family. It's nowhere near. So I don't even like the comparison of saying that it's like we're doing time just as well. No, it's not. You chose to work at this prison. So if you chose, it's not like somebody made you work it. You chose to work at this prison. So, you know, we're all going to complain about different things that we go through, different places that we work at, but don't ever make that, it's apples to oranges. And that's a ridiculous statement. I almost seen a CEO get his wig split over saying something like that one time. Because it's just outright ridiculous. So, you know, the yard's up, man. Inmates done took over the yard. Like I said, they done burned a couple buildings down or what have you. Whooped a couple officers. They chasing officers. They done raided the canteen. They grabbing stuff out of the canteen. It's out of control, man. They can't do nothing about it. They got to bring in, you know, the outside help, National Guards and state troopers and all type of other individuals to calm the situation down. Now, everybody didn't partake in this riot. Every inmate didn't partake in it. Some just stayed in their cell. They didn't even go out. And the ones that did, you know, they have cameras everywhere. So a lot of them ended up getting charged. When you just sit back and you just continue to just lay down, when you continue to just take it and take it and take, you know, take that, take that, take that. When you continue to do so, no diddy though. When you continue to do that, there's no respect there. There's a saying in prison, in Kentucky anyway. Only thing that people respect in prison is violence. That's the only thing they're going to respect. That's the only thing that's going to get through to them. That's the only thing that'll be understood. Again, I'm not advocating violence. I'm not advocating setting anything on fire. I'm not advocating doing anything to anyone. But these prisons will treat you so bad. Now, understand it's prison, so you're not supposed to go in there and have a field day. I get it. But always remember this, locking people up is a business. It's a business. A lot of people that's incarcerated need to be incarcerated because of the things that they've done out here on the streets. But then you got a lot that don't even need to be in prison. But you have these sentence enhancements. So let me explain to you how a sentence enhancement works. Say you have a prior felony and you go into a Walmart and you steal something. Okay, well, at the time it was $300 or more, but now I believe it's $500 or more. So you steal something and it's $320. Well, it's a felony, but the prosecution has an option. Okay, we can just knock this down to a misdemeanor, give you, 9-12 months in the county jail, and leave it at that. No, they're going to charge you with a felony, which you're going to face 1 to 5 on the felony. If you have one prior, now that 1 to 5 is 5 to 10 that you're facing, and if you have 2 priors, it's 10 to 20 that you face. So these sentence enhancements are sending people to prison like no other. That's why so many people incarcerated. And it's really a form of double jeopardy. If the crime that I did carries 1 to 5, how do I end up with 15? Or how do I end up with 10? I have to take a plea deal for 10 because if I go to trial, they're going to knock my socks off and give me 20 at trial. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people end up getting sent to prison. Well, you shouldn't go into Walmart and steal. I agree. But life is tough, man. Life is hard, man. And when you come out and you're a convicted felon and nobody really wants to give you a job, you can't get an apartment at a decent place, you can't carry a gun, it's just you can't. Everything is you can't. So it feels as though you're a secondhand citizen. So it's a lot easier for people to just give up. You know what, man? I'm back to it, man. Not making excuses. I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm just simply saying that's why the recidivism rate is so high. People continue to go back because there's not really many opportunities out here. Think about it. There's a lot of people out here that don't have a criminal record that's struggling. You struggling without a criminal record. So, though the fact that you have, a couple felonies or what have you, on top of that, it's not easy. But it's the bed that we make, so we must lay in it. So I'm not going to sit there and complain. What I'm doing is I'm breaking it down, I'm painting a picture, and I'm showing you all exactly how it is to have a criminal record. So the riot takes place. They finally get it under control. They got everybody on the yard hog-tied, pretty much. Hands behind their back. It's hot outside. Can't go to the bathroom, legs is tied up or whatever. Now they tough again. Now they got control of the prison, so they tough again. Well, the prison has been damaged so much, they have to start shipping people to, other facilities. They get to shipping people to other facilities. Problem is, the prison systems in Kentucky were already overcrowded anyway. They don't have enough room to send them to the actual prisons. In Kentucky, they'll keep you in a county jail. It's called regional jails. Basically, it's just a county jail, but they'll say, okay, we can hold inmates in regional jails, and we'll provide so many jobs where they can go outside in the community and work if their custody level is, adequate for that. So you may go out in the community and picking up dead roadside, or picking up trash along, side of the road, or it's something going to be like, weed eating, or in the wintertime, you may be shoveling snow and ice and things of that nature. But it's only so many jobs that you can do. So they'll just keep you in the county jail. Regional jail, county jail, it's the same thing. You're locked down pretty much all day long. You're in a cell with 15, 20 guys. You don't have no privacy. It's loud. You don't get contact visits in most of these places. Some places you do, but most of them you don't. You got to talk to your people through the glass. You're probably 2-3 hours away. It's terrible. At the same time this riot is going on, I was at Christian County. It's in Hoptown, Kentucky. So I'm at Christian County. That's about 3.5 hours away from where I'm at. I was at another facility. I was having some trouble. Well, they were actually having trouble with me because I hated getting up at 3 a.m. to go in the kitchen and work. And finally one day I was just like, man, I'm not working in the kitchen no more. Okay, we got something for you, Kens. A couple days later, 6 o'clock in the morning, Kens, yeah, pack it up. They come with them black bags. When they come with the black bags, it's over. You're getting transferred. So they sent me way down to Hoptown. That's what they call it, Hoptown. I go down to Hoptown. When I go into the cell, I don't know nobody. I don't know a single person. Not one person from Lexington is in that cell. Now, these cells were huge. They had like the triple bunks. I never seen those. I seen them on TV, but I had never seen the triple bunks. Most bunks are just, double bunks. These are the triple bunks. So they send me into the cell, and it's probably at least 100 people in the cell. I walk in. I'm walking through looking for my bunk. I got my black bags I'm carrying. So as I'm walking through the cell, one of my bags has a hole in it. So a lot of my commissary starts to fall out. It was the bag I had my commissary in. I had probably about 20 bags of Grippos. Everybody went crazy, man. They seen Grippos. Oh, man, I got to have them. So I'm thinking people's going to, I'm thinking I'm going to have to fight, because I'll fight over some Grippos. I only had 20 bags. So a couple people came over, they was helping me put my stuff back in my bag, but I'm watching them, make sure that nobody try to run off or whatever. Dudes was offering me $5 for them little bitty bags of Grippos. So I just had to throw that in, because that's what happened. Ride with me. So, I get in my bed, I found my bunk or whatever. I'm not nervous, but it's just like, man, ain't nobody down here from Lexington. Not one person. So I'm in the cell, I get acquainted with everybody, the people that, cause like I would play poker, we would shoot dice, we do all type of stuff. It's many, many stories mixed in, but it's all coming back to the riot. So I meet a dude, and his name is Tennessee. They called him Tennessee. Cool dude. We used to gamble all the time. Like I said, shoot dice, play poker. In Hoptown, Christian County, you could have as much money, cash money on you as you wanted. Literally. So if you got $500, you just have $500. Now I'm on the lockdown side. They sent me to the lockdown side. I have to sit on the lockdown side for 30 days before they send me out to the work side. Now I'm at the end of my bid. Now, I don't even have that much time left. I probably got a couple months before I go up for parole. I wasn't serving out, but I was going up for parole, and it was like my second time going up, because the first time I went up for parole, that was my third time. The first time they gave me 18 months. It's called a deferment. I had to do the 18 months. I came back. I've been fighting, getting in trouble. They gave me another 12 months. I did that. So I was coming up on my third time. So I figured that I would probably go home. But I wasn't for sure, because I said, man, they might put in my report that I refused to work. So I was prepared either way, although I did want to go home. So, we're in the jail, what have you. You can have as much money on you with gambling. And during that time that I was my 30-day waiting period, they ended up bringing several of the guys from Northpoint to that facility. Northpoint being the place where they had the riot at. So the dudes that they bring to the facility, they not happy whatsoever. Because a lot of them had nothing to do with the riot whatsoever. So you go from being on a prison yard If you never been to prison, there's a big difference from a county jail to a prison yard. For you all that have been to prison, you know the difference. Northpoint, you could have your own TV. You could have your own clothes. Well, not your own clothes, but your own gray sweatsuits. You could have CD players. You got contact visits. You got people that live close so that people can come and see them, you know, pretty much at any time. Like, there's so many advantages, if that makes any sense, to being on an actual prison yard opposed to a county jail. So they brought a bunch of them in. They was rowdy. They kicking the doors. They going off, man. You know, because they like, man, why y'all got us in the jail, man? I got 40 years. You got me in this jail, man. Y'all better get me out of this jail. Everybody didn't have 40 years, but a lot of them had a lot of time. So they going ham in the jail. You know, they, like I said, they cussing the guards out, kicking the doors. And I feel kind of bad for a lot of them COs down Christian County, because a lot of those correction officers, they weren't like regular correction officers. They were cool, man. Everything was kind of like family oriented. They were real cool down there. So they put like 6 of them in our cell. They bring 6 of them in our cell. You can tell that these dudes was really some, you know, they look like they been doing time, you know. A few black dudes, actually it was 2 black dudes, 4 white dudes or whatever. But they was all cool. They kind of stuck together, had tattoos on their face and on their head. Now, I'm not saying that makes you look like a criminal if you got tattoos on your face and tattoos on your head. But in prison, when you see that, you pretty much know, like, okay, this dude, he been bitten, he been doing time. That's just how it is, man. So, you know, these dudes, man, they remain calm, you know, for about the first week or so. But again, you go from being on a prison yard to where you can walk outside at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever time the yard opens, and you're out literally all day long, other than having to go in for counts or just when you want to go in, playing basketball whenever you want to play, or, you know, playing pool or just whatever. And then they don't have anything because they didn't even bring their property with them. So all the property that they had, somehow it got lost, and they filing reports to get their property, and they don't have anything. So they in there pissed, man. They going crazy. Well, I mentioned my dude Tennessee. Tennessee kept about 3 racks on him, 3 grand. No joke. Tennessee kept about 3 grand. He was the guy that had the cigarettes. I made a video several months ago talking about how a pack of Marlboros, I don't know how much a pack of Marlboros are right now, but I know back then, in 2009, whatever the price was, it didn't even make a difference. So he might give an officer, he might say, man, bring me in 4 packs. He get an officer $400. Officer pays for the cigarette, actually over $400. So let's just say a pack was $6. We gonna give him, you know, probably just gonna give him $6.30. Buy the cigarettes, the officer gets $100 for each pack that he brings in. Tennessee's killing it. You know why? Because each pack has 20 cigarettes in it. He's breaking down each cigarette and making 3 to 4 cigarettes per 1 cigarette. So if he's making, let's just say he's making 4 cigarettes off of 1 cigarette, he's selling them for $5 or $6. So you can imagine, let's just say $5 per cigarette that he's selling, that he breaks down. That's $20 a cigarette. It's 20 cigarettes in a pack. That's $400. He keeps about 3 grand on him at all times. He had his sock. He had like a little contraption. He had a sock. It was a couple socks, and he kept his money. And what he did was, it was wrapped around his hip, and the sock, the area where the money was at, was kind of down by his, you know, his private areas. I'm on YouTube, you know what I mean? So it was down by his U-digs. His U-digs. That's what we call it, yeah, U-digs. So dudes knew that he had this bread, and a couple people had, you know, quiet whispers or what have you in there. They was gonna rob him. Tennessee was always like, yeah, I got something for him. Now me and him, we got kind of cool, man. You know, we would talk all the time or whatever, because like his bed was kind of close to mine. Initially, I was on the top rack. I had to climb all the way up to the top rack on the 3rd rack, but I think somebody ended up getting out or whatever, so they moved me down. So I ended up getting like a bottom rack, so I was kind of close to, you know, Tennessee's rack. We shoot dice every day, like I said, play poker, but mainly shoot dice. So we had all the bread, and he had the cigarettes. You got the money and you got the cigarettes, which the money is the cigarettes. In jail, you the man. A couple people in there, you know, they rock with him, they liked him, but about that money, at Skrilla, at cornbread and cabbage, man, they coming for you. Somebody's coming for you. These new dudes that they brought in from Northpoint, from the Riot, they caught wind of, Tennessee having the money, Tennessee having the cigarettes. Again, they didn't really have much because all of their property wasn't brought, the money on their commissary was, so they had to wait for the money to be sent to them from their peoples, and it's hard to get on the phone if you don't got no money. They don't even give you a phone call. They'll give you a phone call if it's local, but if it's long distance, so you like, how am I supposed to, tell my people where I'm at? Well, you got to get on the jail phone. Okay, but their system is totally different, and I don't have any money on the phone, so you got to get somebody to try to give you a call. Man, it's terrible. So they're waiting on their money or what have you to get there or whatever, and I guess it's taking too long, and they come up with a plan like, man, we got to have dude. Now, when I say they got to have dude, meaning that they got to get his money. They got to get them cigarettes. I guess they figured as though, shoot, man, we can get a CO to bring it in for us, so we need to get rid of him. Again, Tennessee, a lot of people liked him. Why did they like him? Because he had the cigarettes. He was a cigarette man. He's already knowing about this. Now, he don't know it's specifically them. He don't know specifically who it is, but he's ready. He goes into the bathroom one day. Bathroom in jail's pretty, large-sized bathroom. They follow him in the bathroom. Man, run that. Run what? Man, you know what it is. Get it out. Man, I don't know what you're talking about. Get what out? Man, run that money, man. Run them cigarettes. It's 4 of them. Tennessee ain't going out like that. I don't know if he's from Memphis. I don't know if he's from Nashville. I don't remember what part of Tennessee that he was from. But just know, Tennessee, a.k.a. Tennessee, wasn't going out like that. He wasn't even no big dude. He's probably 5'9", 170 pounds. Had, about my complexion, a little bit darker than me. Had long locks, long dreads or whatever. Didn't bother nobody, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't no punk. He wasn't going out like that. Ran up on him. Bam. Tennessee, he ends up hitting one of them or whatever. And they was getting the best of him. They was definitely getting the best of him. It was 4 of them. Now, it was only really 3 of them. And then there was another one kind of looking out or whatever. Make sure didn't nobody run and jump in. So Tennessee's like, all right, man, here. I got you. I got it. Remember I told you he kept it. It was a contraptment that he kept it like, I don't know exactly because I wasn't, I wasn't down there. But I know that every time he needed money, he would go in his pants and he would pull the sock out or whatever and go in there and grab the money. But he had the money close to his, you dig? All right, man, I got you, man, here. All right, I got you. He goes inside his pants. When he comes out like Zorro. Man, he comes out with a big old sword. I'm talking about, man, it looked like a Michael Myers knife or something like that. So the dude see it. Whoosh. He slices one of them with the knife. They immediately take out the bathroom. They get to running. Don't run down, because they had beat him, but they hadn't really just beat him bad. He was bleeding a little bit, but he was fully conscious. Don't run down. So he's chasing them. Well, the thing is, there's 4 of them, so he can't chase all of them. So he's chasing one around the cell, and he sees another. He's trying to chase him. So he said, I tell you what. Now, keep in mind, this is a big cell. The police never came to the back. The police never, ever would come to the back. That's where we were at. I don't even remember what the name. I think it was like 923, 973. Man, any of y'all from Hoptown and you familiar with the jail? It's the jail. They got it's the pod that had the triple bunks, and it was probably the biggest or one of the biggest cells in the jail. Police never came back there. So he gets tired of chasing them. He tells them, I'm going to get you. None of y'all can go to sleep. Y'all going to grab y'all stuff and get on the door. In prison, that means get on the door, pack your stuff up, get on that door. You out of here. You checking out. Hey, officer, I need to get out of this cell. What's going on? Somebody threaten you? Nah, I just need to get, I don't feel safe in here. Somebody do something to you? Nah, officer, I just need to get out of the cell. I fear for my safety. I need to get, well, we're going to have to send you to the hole. We're going to have to send you to solitary confinement. Man, just get me out of this cell. He tells all of them, y'all getting out of here. All 6 of them didn't partake in it, but 4 of them did. Y'all getting out of here, man. A couple of them played tough or whatever. Okay, when you go to sleep, you're not going to wake up. Not only did Tennessee have one knife, he had 2 of them. He had a whole holster and a whole contraptment, and all this was in his pants, and you never would have even known. Now, when I say a large knife, I'm not saying it was a knife like this, but in prison, something like that, that's a long knife or what have you. So he got 2 of them. He tells them, y'all ain't never safe in here again. They didn't get nothing from him. Y'all are never safe in here. One dude, he's split. He's cut open, so he got to, he has to go medical because he's cut so bad. You know how on Rocky, the movie's cut. He's cut. He's cut. That's how it was when dude got cut. he cut the shit out of him. So the dudes, I guess they feel as though a good run is better than a bad stance. They got on the door. They left. So now Tennessee was really the man. He handled this all by himself. Didn't nobody help him. Nobody ran to his rescue or nothing like that. He handled this whole situation. Plus, they knew he had them things on him. Police, he's already kind of good with them as far as not that he was working with the police, but they making $400 every couple of days off Tennessee. Every couple of days, he run out of cigarettes and get more cigarettes. Plus, he smoked. So he had this couple people that he smoked with, and, they would smoke together. That was a crazy, crazy scenario that took place. So I was there, and they ended up transferring me over to the work side. I got to the work side. I was able to have my own clothes, MP3 player, go out and work in the community. At this point, I think I had made parole. Matter of fact, I did. The first day they moved me over there, they told me that I had made parole. So I was like, wow. So I knew that I was going home, pretty soon. I didn't know if it would be a month. I didn't know if it would be a week. But I knew that pretty soon I was going home. That's my one experience that I've had. So even though I told several different scenarios, it seems as though I told several different stories. It's all the same. Because everything happened in subsequent order. I'm going to use a prosecutor's word, subsequently. Yeah, I mean, I never seen Tennessee anymore after that. I was only on the work side for maybe a month, and I ended up, going home on parole. This was in September of 2009 when I went home on parole. But I want to give a special shout out to Hoptown, man. Hoptown, Kentucky, Christian County. Man, them people treated me with the utmost love when I went down there, man. I'm talking about they knew that I didn't have any, people that I dealt with or anybody from that area there. Showed me nothing but love, man. Nothing but hospitality, man. I had one instance with a dude, and we was kind of going back and forth or whatever, and he came to me. He was like, bruh, I ain't got no problem with you, man. I was just trying to see what type dude you are, man. I see you a stand-up dude. You gonna stand up for yourself. Damn right I'm gonna stand up for myself. Other than that, I had no issues. Matter of fact, when I made parole, they kicked me out of the jail because once you make parole there, you can no longer be held in the jail because they're liable. So they throw me out, literally out of the jail. Imagine that. I'm waiting for my people to come. It's a 3.5 hour ride, but I got to wait for them to get off work or whatever. So I'm walking downtown, downtown Christian County, whatever, with a black bag. I don't know nobody. The guy that I worked for at the Civic Center, he seen me. And he was like, I told him, I said, man, he asked me, was I okay or whatever. I didn't have any money. I had a money order, but I couldn't cash, and I ain't had no ID or nothing. So he cashed my money order for me, gave me his phone number. He said, hey, man, if you have any problems, something happens with your ride or whatever, give me a call, man. And it was just the utmost hospitality that I've ever seen in my life. Plus, them Christian County boys, they don't play, man. I done been locked up in different penitentiaries with them. They all stick together. It might only be 6 or 7 of them. They gonna ride. They gonna ride for you, man. You know what I mean? And they gonna all stick together. Tricky, my partner Big Blam. Big Blam was a knockout artist. A couple other dudes, I just can't think of their name off the top of my head, but solid dudes, man. You know what I mean? Also want to give a special shout out to the Dante Show Network, man. We had our differences, a little while ago, but we squashed that. We talk like grown men, and he's responsible, partly responsible for the growth that my channel is now starting to see or experience or what have you. So I want to give a special shout out to the Dante Show Network, man. Y'all not familiar, which I'm sure a lot of you all are, go check out Dante. You know what I mean? Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kens TV.